And here we go, fight fans on the next bout tonight. 3 rounds in the lightweight division. Making his way to the cage first, fighting out of the blue corner from Kent, England, David Howell.
Our third and final Facebook prelim of the evening here at Cage Warriors 64, and we move to the lightweight division. David "Glamorous" Howell coming in a little bit over yesterday, Josh, 159.1 pounds.
Yeah,
bit of a miscalculation with the weight cut there.
Quite possibly, but coming out with no walkout shirt on, just really focused and looking ready for business here. It's been a bad time for David Howell recently. Bad 2012, should I say. Lost 3 in a row that year. Is coming off a win last July, and that was a 10-second one-punch knockout. Really good striker with power punches. Very rarely leaves the first round. Mixed fortunes here on Cage Warriors so far. 1-1 in his 2 appearances with us. Of course, lost what was a very entertaining fight back in 2011 to Danny Roberts, but then soundly TKO'd Kieran Malone later that year.
And as you said, Josh, looking all business here is Glamorous David Howell, 29-year-old fighting out of Gillingham in Kent. He loves a brawl, and his opponent is known to give him one.
And his opponent tonight, fighting out of the red corner, making his way to the cage from Romford, Essex, England, Brad Wheeler.
And Josh, when you talk about brawlers, when you talk about toughness, when you talk about tenacity, you've got to talk about London's Brad, the crazy kid Wheeler.
Yeah, almost the most experienced on Cage Warriors of any fighters. This is 10th appearance here on the show. Pretty good record for him as well, 5-4. He's fought some very, very tough guys, though. Of course, that saga against Ian Entwistle. What you need to know about Brad Wheeler is he is incredibly tough. He's very dynamic, and he's immensely well-rounded. Fantastic Thai boxing under Chris Carley at the MMA clinic, and then great jiu-jitsu as well under Michael Russell. Has put together some very nice submission wins here in this cage.
And just 23 years old, still a lot of time for Brad Wheeler to improve as a fighter. Already very, very experienced, as you say, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, 19 fights already at that age. I mean, this guy's just been fighting incredibly regularly. Taking a bit of time off recently. Last fight was a win right here on Cage Warriors in July of last year. A decision for him there.
And you know, every time I see Brad Wheeler, every time I speak to him, always looks more confident than the last time.
Lovely exchange of grins here from these two.
I get the feeling, Josh, we might be in for a little bit of entertainment here.
Fans, 3 rounds, lightweights. Referee in charge, Mark Gunner.
Internationally renowned referee Mark Goddard in charge of this lightweight contest. Hang on to your seats, folks. David Howell versus Brad Wheeler, and we are underway. Leg kick to start things off from Howell, and a head kick.
Yeah, landing to the neck, immediately firing the other side, and kicks trying to keep Wheeler at range.
Kicks from all angles, punches too from David Howell. Another head kick, and Wheeler's taking these on the chin. I mean, both coming straight forward.
Both guys have very good striking prowess. Brad Wheeler finding the chin of David Howell. Huge takedown in defense there, though.
Howell took one on the chin there, dropped his hands and beckoned Brad Wheeler on. Never a good idea.
Yeah, triangle armbar possibly now as he gets the hips all the way out. And I think the crook of the elbow has just come out. David Howell immediately going to work on the body. What a pace these guys are setting.
It's going to be interesting to see if Howell can keep this pace up. As we said, missed weight by some margin yesterday. We don't know what's going on with the weight of David Howell.
I expect the slightly more technical striking to come from Brad Wheeler, the power to come from David Howell. I do think perhaps Wheeler is going to have the advantage should this fight find its way to the floor, though.
A variety of kicks thrown early from Howell. Head kicks from both angles.
Whitney tried to find that tie clinch, but Brad Wheeler immediately going after that single leg.
A lot of support here for Brad Wheeler, as always.
Yeah, pulling the legs and the hips out, and you can see David Howell immediately trying to pop back to his feet.
And there's a cut on the head of Brad Wheeler. not in a bad position. Shouldn't bother the Crazy Kid too much.
Yeah, it's an interesting wrist grip from David Howell. It's allowing him to just hold Wheeler off long enough to land these strikes, and these elbows are coming in. Brad Wheeler cannot afford to sit here.
Trying to pull the legs of Howell out from under him is Brad Wheeler. And Howell really targeting that cut on the side of Wheeler's head with those elbows.
Yeah, Brad Wheeler looking to try and bring the ankles together, switching for the ankle pick now, doing a really good job of getting this fight to the floor, and in the scramble is trying to take the back here.
The problem with these cuts on the head, even though they're small, a lot of blood flow.
Yeah, body triangle with a lot of time to work for Brad Wheeler. This is going to be very hard for David Howell to break, especially in this position. If Wheeler can now drive the hips in and get Howell completely flat.
Howell's mouthpiece has come out as well there. Big punches from Brad Wheeler, mostly hitting the guard.
Yeah, he still can't afford to sit here though. He's got to do something, but you can guarantee Brad Wheeler is squeezing that body triangle for everything he's worth. And even if David Howell makes it out of this position or out of this round, there's going to be a lot from his gas tank taken.
Not just controlling position with that body triangle, also controlling the breathing of David Howell. Wheeler swinging some bombs in. Referee Matt Goddard taking a good look at this one.
I mean, they're finding the guard, but at the same time, David Howell has got to do something here.
Mark Goddard asking for some intelligent defense from David Howell.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, I was just going to say, maybe David Howell needs to turn over and just hand fight this last minute here and try and fight his own grips. Brad Wheeler very adept on the ground, though, as you can see, looking to lock up the rear naked choke, going to the short choke now, but the chin is well tucked from David Howell.
Perhaps trying to crank the neck a little bit here is Brad Wheeler.
Yeah, just slowly inching it tighter and tighter. Of course, he's going to be creating a bend in the spine of David Howell the whole time as well. David Howell is on the right side to break this body triangle, though, if he can put some pressure through with his hips. Doesn't want to overextend, trying to strike from this position, though, and leave his neck out.
Still very much in the fight is David Howell. Wheeler firmly in control at this point, though, Josh. Still got that body triangle locked in.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you can see it's just slipping down onto the feet, and David Howell's finally managed to break it. Looking for the arm triangle is Brad Wheeler. You can see Howell trying to create the space. Oh,
and there's a submission! Brad Wheeler transitioned to that arm triangle choke, and elicited the tap in record time there, Josh.
Right in the dying seconds of round one. David Howell just had to hold out for a couple of seconds more, and Brad Wheeler, fantastic work in the transition. Really, once that fight went anywhere near the ground, dominated the entire exchange.
2 wins on the bounce now for Brad the Crazy Kid Wheeler. A hard-fought unanimous decision last time, and a fantastic submission this time. Let's take a look at some of that action now, Josh.
I mean, it was a frantic pace as David Howell opened up with a barrage of high kicks, but Brad Wheeler marched forward.
Wheeler getting a little bit wild with the strikes there and took a takedown. Big shots from the Crazy Kid.
I mean, I guarantee this body triangle was key to wearing out David Howell enough to set up this arm triangle. You can see as soon as he connects and drives the shoulder into the neck, the tap came very quickly indeed.
Let's throw it to Joe Martinez to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes officially. 4 minutes, 46 seconds, round number one. Submission by head and arm choke for your winner, Brad the Crazy Kid Wheeler.
Big submission victory there for Brad the Crazy Kid Wheeler. Thank you for joining us on our Facebook prelim stream of Cage Warriors 64. Main card coming up at the top of the hour. Corey Tate versus James Pennington in a huge bantamweight contest. Lots more action as well.